Imagine a planet where diamonds are falling from the sky. Sounds impossible, right? But scientists think something surprisingly similar could be happening inside two planets in our solar system, Uranus and Neptune. And no, I'm not talking about a few diamonds falling into the surface. The diamonds may actually be forming deep inside the planet and then sinking even deeper. This strange process is known as diamond rain. But how can a planet make diamonds? Let's find out. First, we need to talk about methane. Methane is a simple molecule made from carbon and hydrogen. Uranus and Neptune contain a lot of methane. From space, these planets look like giant blue worlds. But what happens underneath those clouds is completely different. The deeper you travel into one of these planets, the more material is sitting above you. That creates enormous pressure. And we are not talking about pressure like we experience on Earth. Deep inside these planets, the pressure can become millions of times greater than the pressure on Earth's surface. The temperature also becomes incredibly high. Under these extreme conditions, methane can break apart. The hydrogen separates from carbon, and then the carbon atoms can be squeezed together. And when the conditions are right, the carbon can form diamond. The same basic material found in the diamonds on Earth could be forming naturally inside another planet. But this is where the story gets really strange. The diamond don't just stay where they form. Diamond is much denser than the surrounding material. So after the diamond form, they can begin to sink deeper into the planet. Think about dropping something heavy into water. It moves downward. Now imagine that is happening inside a planet. Except the water is incredibly hot and under enormous pressure. The diamond could keep moving downward through the planet's interior. And that is why scientists use the term diamond rain. But there is an important thing to understand. This is not normal rain. The diamonds are not falling from clouds through the atmosphere and landing on the surface. The process is thought to happen thousands of kilometers below the visible clouds. So, it is more like an underground rainstorm happening inside the planet. And here's something that makes this idea much more interesting. Scientists have actually tried to recreate these conditions in laboratories. Of course, they cannot build an entire planet in a laboratory. Instead, they use extremely powerful equipment, including lasers, to create enormous pressure and extremely high temperatures for a very short period of time. Researchers use materials that contain carbon and hydrogen to imitate some of these conditions expected inside Uranus and Neptune. And experiments have produced evidence of diamond formation under these extreme conditions. So scientists are not simply making this idea up. Laboratory experiments give them evidence that these processes can actually happen, but there is another surprising detail. The interior of Uranus and Neptune are not made of only methane. There are other elements and compounds present too. And laboratory experiments suggest that oxygen can influence the process and make diamond formation easier under certain conditions. That means the chemistry inside these planets is much more complicated than simply saying methane turns into diamonds. It's really a huge chemical process happening under incredible pressure and heat. Now, here's the part that I find the strangest. Where do the diamonds go? They sink, and they may continue sinking deeper and deeper. As they travel farther down, the pressure and temperature become even more extreme. Eventually, these diamonds are in an environment that is completely unlike anything we experience on Earth. And scientists think this process could be connected to the way energy moves inside the planet. This is especially interesting when we look at Neptune. Neptune releases more heat from its interior than Uranus. Both planets are similar in many ways. They are both ice giants, they are both extremely far from the sun, and both have very cold looking atmosphere. But Neptune gives off significantly more internal heat. Scientists are still studying exactly why. One possibility researchers have investigated is whether the process happening deep inside these planets, including the movement of carbon and diamond, could play a role in transporting energy. But there is another planet that makes the diamond story even more interesting. It is called 55 Category E. Unlike Uranus and Neptune, this planet is outside our solar system. It is an exoplanet, meaning it orbits another star. And this world is enormous compared with Earth. It's roughly twice Earth's diameter and around 8 times Earth's mass. Early studies suggested the 55 category E could extremely rich in carbon. This led to the exciting idea that part of its interior might contain huge amounts of diamond. People started calling it a possible diamond planet, but there is an important catch. We don't actually know that 55 category E is made mostly of diamond. New observations, including observations from James Webb Space Telescope, have given scientists more information about this atmosphere. The observations suggest that the presence of carbon containing gases, so scientists are still working out exactly what this strange planet is made of. In other words, calling it a giant diamond planet is probably too confident, but the possibility is still fascinating. Now let's return to Uranus and Neptune. If a diamond is really forming deep inside these planets, could those diamonds ever reach the surface? Probably not. Remember, the diamonds are thought to form extremely deep inside the planet. They sink even deeper. So instead of traveling upward toward the surface, their journey takes them farther away from it. And here's the craziest part. Those diamonds may be forming right now. We can't see them directly. We can fly a spacecraft down there, and we certainly cannot collect them. But laboratory experiments have shown that conditions needed to create diamonds can exist. So, somewhere deep inside the Uranus and Neptune, there may be a world where diamonds are not rare treasures. They are simply part of the planet itself. And unlike the diamonds on Earth, these diamonds may never see the surface. They form deep below, they sink deeper, and they disappear into the mysterious interior of the planet. A diamond brainstorm that nobody can see. For more interesting videos, subscribe.